Hello, fourth graders, and welcome back. Yesterday, or rather last time we were together, we discussed important national documents like the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. We also saw a video taking us on a tour of national monuments in Washington, D.C. We saw such monuments as the Washington Monument, Jefferson Monument, Abraham Lincoln's Monument, Martin Luther King, our Vietnam Memorial, as well as many others. Today, we're going to look at some monuments that are in Washington, D.C. and some that are not. And then we will do a quick little reading passage on the Constitution and complete a Google form about it. So let's get started. Today, I want to start with a monument we did not see last time, and that is Mount Rushmore. Here, the sculptures of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln represent the first 130 years of history in the United States. We've learned a lot about why George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Abraham Lincoln were important to our country. But Teddy Roosevelt is someone that sometimes gets lost in that. Does anyone know what he is well known for? Well, he is ranked one of our greatest presidents for many reasons, but he preserved our national parks. So places like the Grand Canyon can be seen, not owned by any one person, but belong to the American people. He did a lot for land conservation, and that's why we're still able to enjoy our national parks today. Thanks, Teddy Roosevelt. Here's Devil's Tower. Remember back to when we saw the Gateway Arch and we talked about how it honored the brave pioneers who went west? Well, those brave pioneers who went west would oftentimes see Devil's Tower. This is Devil's Tower in Wyoming. It was the first of over 110 national monuments in the United States. President Teddy Roosevelt named it a national monument in 1906, and it was a noted landmark that pioneers saw when heading west on Oregon Trail. When pioneers would see Devil's Tower, they would know they were getting closer to their ultimate destination. Here is our National 9/11 Memorial. This memorial stands where the World Trade Center was. It commemorates the 2,977 people who died in the attacks on September 11, 2001, and the 6 people who died in the World Trade Center bombing in 1993. Largely considered one of the greatest tragedies in all of American history, this monument honors all the brave men and women who lost their lives that day. Here's a monument that's still a work in progress. This is the National Monument for Crazy Horse. The monument began in 1948 and is still under construction today. It depicts Lakota Chief Crazy Horse and is in South Dakota. Remember, Europeans came in and took the land that is the United States of America from American Indians or Native Americans and forced them from their lands onto places called reservations. This is a really dark time in American history and a dark spot in American history. So it's important that we honor those people that were here before Europeans came in and stole the land from them. Here's one that I remember we chatted about with Mr. Castor in science. This is Mount St. Helens. Following the 1980 eruption of this volcano in Washington, Mount St. Helens was named a national monument, conservation, and education area. So you can see, sometimes national monuments are built like the 9/11 Memorial. Sometimes they are carved into already existing natural things like Mount Rushmore or the monument to Lakota Chief Crazy Horse. And sometimes they are naturally occurring things in our environment, like Mount St. Helens. Now we're going to read a document about the preamble to the Constitution. After, we will answer questions about it on Google Form Lesson 2. Remember, you always have the option to open the Google form and answer the questions as I read them on the video. Totally okay. All right. So here is a passage about our American government, the preamble to the United States Constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. The United States Constitution is the document that defines America's government. It sets forth the nation's laws. It also spells out the rights and liberties of the American people. The beginning of the Constitution is the preamble, which explains why the Constitution was written. The first three words are we, the people. At the time, these words were revolutionary. Before the United States was established, there were 13 colonies. They were part of England, and their ruler was the King of England. The colonists had no say in the British government over what happened to them. When America's founding fathers established the country's government, they wanted the citizens of the United States to have a say and elect the people who run the government. In turn, the founding fathers wanted the government to protect the people's rights. What else should the government do for the people? The preamble says that the government should provide justice or fairness. It should ensure tranquility or peace by working to solve problems within the country when they arise. The government should also defend the country when necessary. It should care for the general well-being of the people. Finally, it should provide liberty for all. The Constitution, with its many goals and methods to reach them, has stood the test of time. It was written in 1787. More than 200 years later, this document still works for the people of the United States. And remember, the Constitution is a living document, which means it can be changed to fit our needs. Now let's look at our Google form. So we are on Lesson 2. So of course, you're going to fill in your name. First question. Which document defines America's government? We the people, the Constitution, the Founding Fathers. Next question. Why does the author describe the way England ruled the American colonies? To show how England helped the United States in writing their own Constitution. To provide background information about how Americans used to be governed. To explain why the colonists wanted a government just like England's. Read these sentences from the text. When America's founding fathers established the country's government, they wanted the citizens of the United States to have a say and elect the people who run the government. In turn, the founding fathers wanted the government to protect the people's rights. Based on the text, how might U.S. citizens have the power to make sure the principles of the Constitution are followed? Citizens can elect new people to the government if the people running the government do not uphold the Constitution. Citizens create a new Constitution every few years to make sure the government reflects their values. The government cannot take any actions unless the citizens specifically give their consent. Read the sentence from the text. The government should ensure tranquility or peace by working to solve problems within the country when they arise. Based on the text, what is the meaning of the word arise? Disappear, go to war, start happening. What is the main idea of this text? As defined by the United States Constitution, America's government should protect its citizens and their rights. The United States Constitution was written in 1787, and it is a document that explains America's laws. The founding fathers of the United States are the people who established the country's government. 2 more to go. Choose the answer that best completes the sentence. America's founding fathers wanted a government where the American people have a say. Blank, they wrote the United States Constitution to define that the power comes from the people. Which word best fits there? Earlier, although, so. Last question. What is the purpose of the preamble to the United States Constitution? It explains why the United States Constitution was written and sets forth what the government should do for the people. It explains why the United States Constitution was written and sets forth the branches of government. It explains why the United States Constitution was written and gives people rights and responsibilities. All right, 4th graders. Next time we see each other, we are going to start learning just about our great state of New Hampshire. We're going to start out with symbols that represent our great state. Do you know any? I bet some of them will look familiar. All right, 4th graders, until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.